It's Nathan Birch here from B.Invested.com.au. Just want to answer a question here for everyone. People often ask, how much money do I need to save for a house? My writing's crap, but I hope to give you good content today. What I want to talk about is how much money you need to save for a house, and that is a very open question. And for me, when looking at a property investing, everyone's got a different goal. The goal could be just to buy one house. It could be to buy a house and sell it and take the profit. It could be for whatever reason. It depends whether you're buying a house to live in. It depends if you're buying a house to invest in. You can get into a property for a little as like 5%, depending you've got a good credit rating, the property meets the criteria of lender's mortgage insurance. You can actually pay for a thing called mortgage insurance, and basically the bank will lend you more than 80% of the loan. So if you have to put down a 20% deposit, let's say it's a $200,000 property, at 20% it'll be 40k. If you put down a 5%, it could be as little as 10k. Different amounts, different outcomes. Like obviously 5% is better because you can buy more property with the same amount of capital. Back when I first started investing, I used to like throwing down 5% deposits. I threw them down, it would be easy. I'd go out and work with 2 jobs and go and save up for a deposit, put it on the property, save for the next one, put it on the property. The thing that I ran into in a longer term is that the mortgage insurance companies that are behind, so say for instance you go to a bank, one of the big 4 banks, there's only a couple of mortgage insurance providers in the country, so they will look at you after you buy like a half dozen properties and say you're a high risk, we're not going to lend you anymore with mortgage insurance. And it actually, what it might seem good at the start, it actually holds you back in the longer term. Personally, I like to use a 20% deposit. It's easier to build a portfolio if you're wanting to build a portfolio. If you're just looking to buy one property and that's all you want to buy, sure, throw down 5%, that's cool. It just depends on your strategy. It's important to work out a strategy, speak to some finance specialists. I'm not the financial advisor. Financial advisors actually come to see us a lot because they want help. Financial advisors can be salespeople, or they are salespeople, not meaning to offend anyone out there. There's a difference between financial advice that's coming from a good resource, and it could be speaking to your accountant. Like the thing that I realised in life is that I'll only take advice off those who have got what I want, and have done what I want to do. And it's the same as if you're talking about your marriage advice to some guy at the pub who's got the shits with his ex-wife because he's just been divorced. Do you take that advice as going home and cheering things up, or do you take those advices you want to get out of there? If you need help, it's important to understand what you're trying to achieve. Ask the questions, like go out to the banks and ask them, how will this affect me? What do you see the outcome will be if I do this, this, this? It will take time, it will take research. From our side of things, when we help out investors in the office here at B.Invested.com.au, we give people a bit of a roadmap on what they can achieve and how they can, and we always leave people with the questions to go out and ask and armour themselves up to go and ask the banks what would be the outcomes, what would be the repercussions of X, Y, Z. Speak to your accountant, speak to a few accountants. It's always good to get more advice. Speak to half dozen buyer's agents. So it's important that they're going to get the result for you, and if they can deliver that result, if it's a financial advisor and they own no property, ask the financial advisor, how many properties do you own? How much money have you made from property? If they say, oh, I don't buy a property and I invest in a couple of shares or whatever, are they going to help you get to your goal? I don't think so. I don't see it happening, because they have to be doing what you're doing as well and on the same page. So it's important to work out what's best for you. You can get into a property of $200,000 for 40k. You can get into a $200,000 property for 5% of 10k. On top of this, that's your deposit up there. However, you've got closing costs. Something to be aware of. Closing costs would be legal fees. Closing costs would be stamp duty. Closing costs would be paying the excess council rates from where the council rates and water rates from where the old owner may have prepaid it and you've got to pay it out at settlement. Could be insurance. as a general rule of thumb, I like taking account for closing costs to be about 5% of the closing cost of the property. So if you're going to use a 5% deposit and there's a 5% closing cost, if you're going to buy a property, you need about 10%, and it's going to cover the cost. If you're a first home buyer, you could use first home buyer's grant or whatever may apply to you in your state or territory, whatever. However, there's some costs to bear in mind when working out. It's important to work out what sort of property, what sort of price range you're buying in, and then work backwards. Same as anything. Work out where you want to be, work out what you've got to do, work backwards, and then go, okay, I need to save up 40 grand, 30 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand, whatever, to buy that property for yourself. Hopefully I've given you a few tips and tricks to help you out and get your next property. Catch up soon.